Am I the a-hole?
Am I the butthole for saying that I won't coddle my infertile sister anymore? My sister, Julie, has tried to have a baby for 5 years. She had a miscarriage 2 years ago, and outside of that, has been unable to get pregnant. My heart hurts for her. However, one thing that I don't agree with is how my family has handled it. We're just not allowed to talk about babies around Julie. Any kids younger than 3 can't come to family events that she's going to attend. She won't attend baby showers, baptisms, etc. That last one I understand, but the rest feels like overkill. I got pregnant last year. Julie was the first person I told about it, and she reiterated her boundaries. I said that I understood. The first hurdle came with my baby shower. My mother-in-law was throwing it, and I didn't expect Julie to come. Then my mom told me that I shouldn't have a baby shower, period, out of respect. I said that was ridiculous. She didn't have to come, so why did it matter? Only 3 people from my side of the family came to the shower. When my son was born, I posted a birth announcement on Facebook. My parents lectured me for this and said that it was going to hurt Julie. I said that she could just block or mute me. They said that I should make the effort. Julie echoed that if I cared, I'd stop. I ended up blocking her just to save drama. My aunt's 70th birthday party is next week. My husband and I plan to go, bringing our son. Julie called and asked if we were going. She then asked for me to get a sitter for our son. I said no. Julie doesn't want to miss the party. My aunt is one of the few people who agree that Julie's boundaries aren't fair, and she wants my son there because she doesn't get to see him often. Julie got upset and started crying, saying that I was unfair. I finally snapped and asked what would happen when she got pregnant. Would we all be expected to shower her with the love and attention that she refused to give other people's kids? Will her baby be allowed to attend events? She said that was different. I said no, I am not coddling her anymore. My son exists, he's family, and he's coming. She can decide if she wants to come or not. My parents yelled at me for being mean to Julie. They offered to pay for a sitter, but I said no. It's not even Julie's house. Am I the butthole?
Yeah, for that last comment. Dang, calm down.
Go ahead and elaborate. I already got my answer.
I mean, she, he, or whomever is not the a hole in general. I was like on their side. That last sentence, though, you don't ask a person who's infertile, what are we gonna do when you have a baby? No, you don't do that. Overall, not the a hole, but that last comment, that was just a little low for me.
Theus?
I don't know. I'm like, okay, it's a tough one. Um, but you can't tell me I can't celebrate a big event in my life because of an event in your life. So I'm not gonna mute my my big moments because you've had bad moments. I'll try to be considerate and not throw it all up in your face, right? Like I'm not gonna show up and the first thing I do, I show up and hand the baby to you, you know. But me, I don't know. I can't fully relate because I would never be in this position. But I would imagine it'd be pretty much like I would talk to my wife and be like, "Hey, we're not going. I don't need this drama. I don't like what it does to you when we go through this drama. We're not going, and we'll go visit your aunt the next day, or we'll take her somewhere special the next weekend. But this isn't worth it. Your parents are stressing you out, which is stressing the baby out, which is stressing me out. So this isn't healthy for us. So whatever your decision is, I'm with you, but this is where I stand.
But the aunt wanted to see the baby.
My aunt can want whatever she wants.
But it's her house.
Yeah, it's her house, but I mean, this is my family.
I would have told
So
Julie, stay your butt at home. That's what you do. I would have told
I can't
her to
tell
stay at
somebody
home.
else if they can go to somebody else's house. So yeah, you want me to come, you want to see the baby, fine. But at the end of the day, you seeing the baby the day before, the day after, or the week after, you still saw the baby. So is it really that you wanted to see the baby, or is it that you wanted to see the baby on your express terms, regardless of how it affects my sister and my family? You see what I'm saying? So like there's a lot that goes into that part of it. So me as the dude, the husband part, I'd be the one that would literally just be like, look, we're not going. Because I'd rather my wife be mad at me for us not going to this event. So now she can point her anger towards me, right? Than her having to deal with the hurt and all the other crap that's going to be sitting on her when she has to personally experience this crap again. Now, maybe that's wrong of me, but that's how I roll. Like, if I got to be the bad guy to keep you from going through more pain, I'm going to do it. You've been mad at me before.
Anna?
This is a difficult thing for me to talk about. So I know where that sister is coming from, kinda. I can't have kids. Really wanted kids. Nowhere in even the remotest possibility would I ever tell my family now what they need to do to cater specifically to me. That's a level that of selfishness goes far. The pain is real, but you're blocking out so much more. You could have the love of a child. You could actually be in your niece, nephew's life. That's my nieces and nephews. I love them like they were mine. I would defend them like they are mine. They're family. So yes, well, it hurts. And sometimes it hurts to get another baby shower invitation kind of thing. But it hurts for a moment. Then I remember, I'm not the center of the universe. I also remember that there are so many babies out there that need a family. Obviously, if you were getting yourself ready, you have the money. Why did you not look into adoption? Why did you not look into sponsoring? Why did you not look into community service? Something. Instead of making it all about you and your loss. That's an unhealthy place to be in. It's an unhealthy place to ask your family to be in. I'm a little surprised that her parents are so supportive
Well,
of
can I ask a
this.
question?
Yeah.
So, would you agree that everyone doesn't shoulder grief the same way?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And would you agree that this is a person who probably is still deep in their grief? It could be to the point where they may never come out of it.
Hmm.
Right? So, on the one hand, no one wants to see their child hurt. And the parents may be overcompensating and doing it the wrong way, but their intention is to not see her hurt, which unfortunately, trying to block somebody from getting through their grief keeps them in their grief.
Yeah.
But you operate with the tools that you have, and sometimes people have good intentions with bad outcomes. So that's why I was like, the sister who's having the baby, she shouldn't be made or asked to dull her shine. And the sister who's having the baby, shouldn't go out of her way to say or do things that would make her sister feel pain. I just think those are things you do for people you care about, people you're around, family or not. So that's why I was saying, from my point of view, where we just wouldn't go to this family event because it would spare my wife, right, from that particular thing. It also would spare us having to deal with the complications of the sister-in-law, because we still also have the parents in this mix too. So it's like literally by going, yes, we have every right to go. Every right to go.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the trade-off? What am I really getting out of this right here? Right? That's the way I'm looking at it. So it's like, I think the sister who has been battling with infertility, I don't know, but it sounds like she's really, really struggling. This was part of her identity, right?
Mm.
You know, it's not just a matter of, I couldn't have a child, so I'll go and adopt. Some people make that pivot because their goal is to be a parent. It's not 100% their own child, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
fine with expanding their family that way, but some people can't do that. Some people,
Okay.
their identity, right? Especially, no, I don't want to say that, but sometimes people are brought up in ways that equate certain things to even being a woman. So it's locked up in there.
Can you say that last part?
Sometimes people are brought up in such a way that having a child is equated to being a woman.
Okay.
Like you're
Yes.
less than because you did not.
Right.
And you're even more less than if you could not.
Mm-hmm.
So as I say, I just feel like there's a lot of baggage that could be there. And it's not, I don't think it's right to call the sister who is infertile an a-hole, because she's dealing with her grief and her pain.
But her
She needs
parents
help.
are.
She needs help more than anything else. The parents,
Agree.
I wouldn't necessarily call them a-holes, but I would lean towards them being the a-holes out of this story
Right.
because
They
they are the ones that have an important role to play. And they're probably playing it the best way they know how, but the way they know how is not the best way to play it.
Mm.
So, yeah.
And yes, this might be something that is so horribly traumatic. But once again, you do not ask everybody else to change everything for you. That is entirely self-centered, and it's unhealthy as a mindset. Her grief absolutely is real. I still cry, and it's 20 years later. So I'm not minimizing that one iota. It's when you start expecting everybody else around you to change, to coddle you. And actually, where I'm looking at this from, that I'm assuming little boy, he deserves his family. He deserves to know who his great aunt is before she's gone. Why should he be blocked off?
He's 5 months old. He ain't gonna remember. He ain't gonna know the difference between going to see his great aunt on a Monday versus going to see her on a Wednesday. He will not. I have memory, like I have zero
True.
memory of my paternal grandmother, and I have very little memory of my paternal aunt. All I
Okay.
have are photos of them holding me as a baby because they both passed away while I was still pretty much a toddler or younger. Um, I like for me, I get what you're saying. I agree. Like it's ultimately easier to change you than it is to change the whole world to suit you. right? And it's unfair to think the whole world should change to suit you, right? I'm 100% with you there. I guess, and like I said, I'm not able to speak at it directly. I'm speaking at it from the position of being a father, looking at how my role would be in this whole dynamic, because you're not going to use my child as a weapon. It's just not going to happen, right? And this has all the makings of my child becoming used as a weapon. And so now when my child does start to have memory and understanding and gets to hearing family discussions and snippets and snatches, it could come across as he is why mommy and auntie don't have a relationship. So I don't know.
But
It's just a
she's
really jacked up
depriving
situation.
herself out of her relationship with her nephew. I'm like, that's where I can't get the cutoff at.
Grief.
I mean, I guess
Grief is a hell of a drug.
I guess so, because I'm like, but that's your nephew.
And every time she looks at her nephew,
She thinks
she
about
sees
herself.
the baby that she never had.
But
not even just thinking about herself. Every time, it's not even about her sister. Or could it be any woman that's close to her? Every time she looks at her nephew, she will see the baby she never had. It's kind of like in my prior life, so to speak. I had a couple of different girlfriends over the years that a couple of them had an abortion, and none of them by way of me. Not that that's even matters, but they had abortions. And for them, at least for two of them that I can recall, it was very hard for them around the anniversary of the abortion, around the anniversary of when the baby would have been born.
Yeah.
And during those two windows of time, they would each become extremely depressed just seeing a baby. So I guess maybe that's informing part of where I'm coming from.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, here's my deal. And it's 2 or 3 parts. Number one, how far are we going to take this?
All the way.
The baby is 5 months old. Are we going to take it until he's 5 years old? Are we going to take it to
3, I thought.
years?
I thought
the
she
baby
had a
was 3.
specification
No,
of age.
she
she
miscarried
said
3
5
years
months.
ago. Yeah, the baby's 5 months, but the other sister Julie miscarried 3 years ago.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, doesn't the sister have the she doesn't want kids younger than 3?
Yeah, she has that rule.
Yes. Yeah, she has that rule, or somebody had that rule.
That's where I'm thinking it'll take until the baby is 3.
So she's going to avoid the baby until after he gets over 3 years old.
Like,
so the baby is no longer a toddler. When the baby becomes a boy, it might be a little different. And even then, it might continue to just track on. We don't know.
But you know the funny thing about it is, but you do see how this is a moving sidewalk. Yeah. As in, right now we're speaking as I don't want to see anybody after who's 3 and younger.
Mm-hmm.
The anniversary comes, and now it's been 4 years since you miscarriage. So now I don't want to see a baby who's 4 years and younger. Been 5 years since you had a miscarriage. Do you see how it can?
I do, but here's the flaw with that thought process, though. I get it, right? Because what's to say that 3 years doesn't become 5 years, becomes 10 years, becomes forever, right? And then when there's grandchildren, you're gonna go back through this spiral again, right? But that is purely linear thinking. Life doesn't work that way. So she could be on her way to a breakthrough that kicks in 3 months from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. We don't know. And I just think that being considerate without being captive to her struggle, I don't think that's a lot to ask for family.
I,
I
but
do because
but
she's
I
been kind
do,
of. Yeah, I
I
do.
do, because what she is saying, and like I said, this is just my opinion, and her statement at the end is what I'm basing it off of. She is basically saying, "Stop the world. Don't have babies. Don't let me know that you had babies. Don't celebrate babies.
Don't have baby shower.
Don't
Don't do
have baby
nothing.
showers. Don't even admit to babies." And I'm gonna tell you why I said what I said, because what I said was because of what her last statement was when the sister said, "Well, what are you gonna do when you have a baby?" And by the way, just a side note, I like the way that sister said that question, because that proves that she does care about her sister, because she didn't say, "Well, what would you do if you have a baby?" She's putting the spirit in of saying, "So what are you going to do when you have your baby?" And the sister automatically went, "No, that's different." In which my question was, how is that different?
Man,
Because
I
what
don't
you're
get
trying
it.
to say is, now you're saying, okay, now that I done had my child, y'all can do whatever y'all want to now.
That's exactly what she's saying. I don't see what's so complicated here.
It's not a
She is.
complication.
It's
It's
not a complication.
it's
Julie, the sister, needs to
delusional.
grow the crap up and
It
do some
is
therapy.
delusional. It is delusional. It
And
absolutely
so
is.
I have
It's not
to.
healthy. It's not fair. It's not right. But this is your sister, and you notice what she did do. She still put up her baby announcement. She still had her baby shower. She still did her Facebook post because she's gonna live her life and she's gonna continue to celebrate her moments.
Yes.
That's what she's supposed to do. But at the same time, you choose what drama you want to be subjected to at any given time. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to get worked over something that ain't even got nothing to do with my ass. So you know,
I've
but I just
never
think
been to
it's such a
this.
big deal because it's like I don't know. As one of my things, I guess a pet peeve for me in my real life, right, is
God,
how
no, Chris.
people always want people to get out of their way, but they don't look at it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that. What does it take from me? Like in any situation, generally, except for when I'm having my asshole moments, what does it take from me in this moment to be considerate to somebody else's needs, wants, or even their weird peculiarities? What does it take from me? What does it take from me for someone who is transgender who comes to me and says, "No, my pronoun is she"? What does it take from me to just say she? It takes nothing. What does it take from me for somebody who I don't know, whatever the hell they got going on, and they ask me to, they look like Bob and they say that my name is Sarah. What does it take for me to call them Sarah? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? What does it take for me to say, you know what, instead of going to this event right here, because you know what? We skip events probably fairly often. So what does it take to reschedule something or adjust something to keep yourself from emotional mess that you don't really have to deal with? It ain't about your sister. It's about you. It's about
And
you.
and me is saying, I want to go over my aunt's house.
Okay,
I
cool.
want to bring
Totally
my
different.
child because my aunt want to see her, because my aunt doesn't get to see her. Because
Whose fault is that?
it ain't nobody's fault.
Nah,
It
it's
was a
your fault. You the
request.
one with the baby.
I'm not calling that a fault.
Get your
I
ass up and
know
go see your
the
auntie.
one who's still dealing with don't want to see children under a certain age.
That's
I'm
all right, man.
sorry, but
I'm
my
messing with you.
But
I'm messing
Julie
with
done
you
took it
because
too far to my
I
don't
already know
invite
how you
children
roll
under
with this
3.
particular thing,
How
and it's
she
not
gonna?
right or wrong.
because
It's just different.
because here's the deal. Because
You're gonna do what you want to do.
nobody has said it in the comment. Well, maybe somebody did say it in the comment. I haven't got to it yet. The same way is that you're saying we don't have to go because this is your sister. Sister ain't got to go.
She
Mhm.
showed up.
Everything that you said, we can go the day before,
Yep.
the day after, and everything.
Yep.
So can the sister.
I
So
agree.
can the sister. Can
Yep.
But I'm not in a frame of mind to deal with this right now,
And
and
that's a
I
decision
know
she
that
has
I'm
to
not
make.
in the frame of mind. But here's where I'm going to switch it
That would be
on.
if she has a healthy awareness of herself.
I'm like, that's her decision to make.
That's what I'm
Regardless,
saying.
I'm gonna cut this real quick, and I'll shut up. It's her decision to make. I can't tell her to go or not. I can tell the people in my house where we going because that's our decision to make.
I am even as a husband, the best thing that I can literally tell my wife is, do you feel comfortable going? If you feel comfortable going, because this is your sister, not my sister. This is your sister. Because I'm going to literally say, you're the one who has to deal with this. Me as a husband, all I got to do is hear what happened. Pretty much.
No, you're right. Your response is best.
I guess I'm going, but I'm just saying in
Your
general,
response is
the
best.
aftermath afterwards with the parents and the sister calling and everything else. I ain't answering the phone. I'm not taking on the onslaught of, hey, honey, hand the phone over to me.
No, we don't play that game. No, we ain't gonna play.
I get you, Miss. I don't have to be the one to deal with that.
But
let me finish real quick. But the best I can do with my wife is I will support you or whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. In no way, shape, or form, I'm going, you things, you knock yourself out. Me, I ain't trying to turn anybody's anger on me to help her family.
I would.
If you don't want to go, I support you. If
I agree with that.
If you want to go, I support you.
I agree with that as well.
I have learned the hard way on certain things. And one of the things that I have learned the hard way is if it goes south really fast,
which it will,
they're going to blame you, not the wife, the aunt, the
family.
Parents who's already the damn delusion is going to find a way to say something. The sister.
So Marlon,
but it's just it's just as real easy. Julie needs therapy.
Yes, she does.
Serious therapy because she's making people around her adjust to her. Girl,
she ain't making them.
She's saying that she doesn't want to see a baby under 3 years old.
That's her saying it. But she ain't making you do nothing. All of this is people.
Really?
She literally said she did not want to go to an event.
Y'all just said, listen to hear me out. She can't make nobody do nothing. Everybody is making their own decision. Now they are catering to her and her stuff, right? But that's their decision to do that. The sister can't make nobody do nothing because ain't nobody coming to her house, right? They're going to everybody else's house.
It was Julie saying, like I do, I don't want small children around my house. That's just me. Because small children, they scare me. Small children scare me.
So I got no business showing up at your house.
With a 2-year-old. Nah, because they're going to get into something. I got a lot of equipment. They're going to knock it down. Then I'm going to be mad. No.
Now, Chris, I get the understanding of the manipulation, but dang, blasted dude, get well
card and wish her well.
That's how you burn bridges, and that's cool.
That's how you kill relationships.
No, I would just say, here's a therapist. You need to go see this person because you obviously have issues with losing child, which are understandable.
That's not how you deal with somebody in depression.
Sometimes you got to tell them the straight truth.
I know you would word it differently, but
but I was like, you know what? Therapy would really help you. It helped me. And then I'd be like, I can't make you go, but you really need to.
Or I'll invite you to go to therapy with me so that we can work on our.
I just say I will go.
I have a child and I know it causes some tension and I'm concerned about us. So that's how you walk.
Yeah, I might say it like that, but since I'm just a
you don't just send them.
I'm like, here, go to this person. Because I'm just a straight cutaway. I'm just going to say what I think.
So do not join a crisis hotline.
No, I won't. That's why I
But Marlon, going to what you were saying, I feel what you were saying as far as what is it you would like to do, right? You know what I'm saying? And I got your back, right? I feel you. And most times that's how I will roll. On this one, I wouldn't. And that's my dynamic. Because when my wife and I got together, we made a promise to each other that there's going to be times where hard things are being needed on the other side of the family. So I play the bad guy for your family. You play the bad guy for my family. So we have that understanding. So yes, in that particular case, I feel that my shoulders are broad enough that I'll let you be mad at me to save you from what is going to be following. I don't need to see you crying all night and doing all this stuff, and your mama calling you and making you cry all over again, and then your daddy giving you the silent treatment, and then you know how this thing goes. You know how this thing goes.
Families be
Roll on out.
petty sometimes.
Family mess is family mess.
And I'm gonna move on by saying this statement. What I ain't gonna do is tell Foxy what we ain't gonna do.
That's your call.
And then lay beside her at night and expect me to
No, because
get
you're
up
gonna be in the
morning.
other room because she's not gonna put up with it.
That might be the case that night.
No. Real or not.
I ain't scared of nobody. You know what I'm saying? What I am scared of is my wife being hurt. So what I am going to do is try. And now, like I said, this is just different dynamics. Neither one of them is wrong. I'm saying for me, more often than not, it's going to be more along the lines of what would you like to do? I'm saying in this situation where they've had event after event and your parents are over here doing this and this and
But dang, the family was kind of wrong for not showing up to her baby shower. I can see Julie not showing up because that's too.
So how hurt was my wife behind that?
My only fear.
No, they should at least showed up to the baby shower. That's your child.
How hurt was my wife when her family didn't support her in her moment because of her sister? How hurt was she behind that? I'll be damned if I'm gonna have to go through it again.
I got an answer.
Ain't gonna happen.
No. I got an answer for you. I got an answer from you from everything that has been said in this video. Do they give a damn that the sister was hurt that the family didn't come? No.
Exactly.
No, they sure don't. They do not care about that other sister.
See, you talking about the family. I'm talking about my wife. See what I'm saying?
Well, you done made it real, but we talking about this situation.
No, I'm not talking about my wife, Tiffany. I'm talking about my wife in this scenario.
Well, we didn't know. You said you talking. You the one said I'm talking about my wife.
It's about the angles that we're playing off of, right? It's just different.
That's like people who bring children to weddings, and the couple has clearly said, "Please don't bring small children to the weddings." And you're gonna bring
just being rude.
3-month-old.
That's not even being rude, but I get what they're saying. Let me answer this question real quick so we can move on. I have an unrelated question, but why does Marlon have a virtual background and the rest of y'all have regular? The reason is, Parker, is absolutely nothing to do with them three. It's the fact that I have to have a virtual because the background that I have is a blue wall. They have stuff behind them. I got jack squat.
I got a screen, dude.
I have this. All
You
of
have
this.
like I have blue walls. I have a half picture of
you have
wall.
a picture. You have a bed and everything. I literally have a blue wall.
I have a picture of when I was 5. Or I had to be either 5 or 6 or 7. One of them 3 ages.
Baby Tracy, I want to
You've
see.
seen it before. Is that the one you put on?
No, the one I got in the messenger group was me as a newborn baby.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a big child.
We say chunky.
Chunky, chubby, fat, blah, 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 all the same thing.
We say chunky. We don't say big child. Real